Hey guys, in today's video, we're going to talk about 3 simple steps to perfect lower body motion as well as an early extension fix. All right guys, so let's talk about 3 simple steps to perfect lower body motion and an early extension fix. So when we're talking lower body motion, I'm going to talk specifically about how the lower body works during the downswing. If you've watched our videos in the past, we really focus on 2 main parts to how the lower body motion works. And today I want to kind of add a 3rd step and a 3rd piece that I don't talk about, or at least we don't talk about all that often. So the 2 pieces we do talk about in the lower body are, number 1, how much you should shift forward during your downswing, and number 2, how much you should rotate during the downswing. So we kind of know that well. We've done a couple of videos, right, demonstrating there should be some amount of forward shift and there should be some amount of rotation, and you're really marrying those 2 things together throughout your process to get to the point of one of our videos not that long ago of saying, hey, there's a wall outside of my left shoe here. I'm trying to get to that wall as I'm fully turned, right? If that's my end goal, get to the wall fully turned, I have to have some amount of shift, some amount of rotation, right? So that part's pretty simple, I think. Now, the 3rd part we don't talk about as much is the squeeze part, right? Or the extension part. So to me, the lower body is really 3 parts. It's shift, number 1, it's turn, number 2, and it's squeeze, number 3. So it's shift, turn, squeeze. Now, in reality, if I were to just make a normal swing and a normal motion here, I really kind of break that up into 3 parts, right? And in fact, I really break it up into 2 parts. And what I mean by that is the shifting and turning, parts 1 and parts 2, I'm kind of doing simultaneously, right? So from the top of my swing, I'm doing the shifting part and the turning part more or less at the same time, right away from the top of my swing, gradually until I'm at impact and then into my follow through. I'm not doing the squeezing part right away though. So I want you to think about it this way. For the first half of your downswing, we're going to be shifting and turning, shifting and turning, shifting and turning. Now, by the time you get to roughly when the club is parallel to the ground in your downswing, you really start to want to add the squeeze part or the extension part. And there's a couple ways to look at this and a couple visuals here that I want to kind of run you guys through. Part number 1 is if you look at the distance between the legs. If you notice a good golf swing that has a good pivot and good rotation, from the top, the knees get closer, right? So I start, there's a distance between my knees when I start. When I go to the top, that distance gets smaller. In transition, that distance gets bigger again, and then to the finish, it gets smaller again. Okay, you guys see that? It's wider to start, they come together, they separate, they come together again, okay? So some of you guys might not have thought about that way before. So the coming together part at the end is the squeeze part I'm talking about. We don't separate them forever and you just swing. You have to squeeze them back together and extend. And you're doing it from about last parallel here into your follow through. So that explanation could be feel number 1 here in terms of squeezing together. I could simply feel during my late downswing that once I get down into here, I'm going to take the distance between my legs and start to close that gap, or I'm slamming my legs together or squeezing them together. Notice as I'm doing that, I'm also straightening both of my legs. If I stood up, when I come down from the top, if I'm bending my legs and externally rotating them, they get farther. For me to get them closer together, I'm not going to just keep bending them. That wouldn't work. They keep getting farther. I need to, from here, eventually start to straighten them up. You see that there? So part of my legs coming together is straightening them up. So from the top, I'm shifting and turning, shifting and turning, shifting and turning, shifting and turning. And at some point, I need to start straightening my legs and get that gap closer together and squeeze my knees together, right? That's feel number 1, and I can use that as part of this. I'll go ahead and demonstrate that. Feeling a late squeeze together move. And that feels really good for me. So that's part number one. Now in with that is kind of the micro or the minor details of this. If I said I want to squeeze both of my legs together, certainly I could feel that with my left leg. I could feel that with my right leg. My left leg also has multiple parts and joints. I could feel that with my left knee, my lower left leg, upper left leg, left hip. I could feel that with my lower right leg, knee, hip. The point being, it's not correct or incorrect to feel left side. It's not correct or incorrect to feel right side. The point is you're squeezing those together as you go. For me personally, what I feel when I do this and what enables me to continue to turn and pivot really well, instead of having this early extension look, okay, like this, is I really feel it with my right side. So what I feel specifically is from the top, I'm normal, make sure I have a good turn. As I come down, okay, I'm turning, my legs are naturally getting farther apart. When I get into about here, halfway down, I'm feeling like I'm straightening my right leg, so I'm stopping my knee from going this way. Stopping my knee from going this way. I'm feeling like it's going this way as I'm turning, so I'm straightening my right leg as I'm turning. I'm straightening my right leg as I'm turning. And as I do that, I feel a couple things. I feel my Tiger Woods glute engage. I feel my right glute activating. I feel the distance between my hip and my knee almost like it's lengthening, like my quad here is lengthening out like that. I feel like my leg is straightening. I feel a little more tightness in my right hip as I go. And I really can feel that in my right hip and tightness as I'm pushing forward. That I know that I'm activating and using my right side instead of me doing this early extension where I have no activation. If I do my normal swing when I get sloppy, I feel no activation in my right side, no tiger glute, and I'm just here. When I do it well, I feel much more here. And as you can see, when I do the no good, my hip comes forward, my chest gets farther, early extension. When I feel like my right leg from here straightens, my glute goes, this lengthens, my knee straightens as I go, you see I maintain some depth to my hip. So that's the early extension portion of this. So that would be the second way I would feel it, is that my right side, right leg straightening. And that feels good when I come through it. I didn't even do it, I could feel I didn't do that one quite as much. I'm gonna do that again and really focus on myself squeezing that in as I work through. And this goes along with, let me do one more here. This goes along with the video we did of having that right foot kind of pushing clockwise. If I have my right foot pushing clockwise, my leg wants to straighten like this. I want to use the ground, gets me out of that early extension pattern. So that's really what I wanted to guide you guys through is there's really 3 steps here. It's a shift, a turn, at the same time throughout the whole swing, but late in the downswing, it's also an extension. Get your knees closer together, use that right foot, push your hips up and forward and extend into your follow through. So you guys that early extend, that'll work really good. You know, what is the point of doing any of this is increase your overall rotation, have a better pivot, more speed, hit the ball more solid, et cetera, et cetera. So a couple feels there, maybe a different way to think about how your lower body works. For those of you guys struggling with rotation or pivot, that's something to look at. As always, when you're doing this, you want to marry this with some kind of feedback, okay, whether that be a live view, whether that be a phone or something, so you know you're actually doing that. But a little different way to think about the lower body stuff. If you guys have any questions, as always, leave a comment down below. Hey guys, thanks for watching today's video. If you guys liked the video, please do me a favor, click the like button down below. Click the notification bell if you haven't, and also please subscribe. Another reminder, if you guys do want more instruction from me tailored for you, check out CogornoGolf.com. The link is in the description down below. Thank you guys.